The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, August 8th have Victor striking an unexpected deal, Phyllis pushing Billy's buttons, and Chelsea being forced to take sides. Victor Newman is a keen strategist. He recently told Audra to take a hike after she failed to paint Kyle in an unfavorable light. His decision to dismiss her wasn't unexpected, but that doesn't mean Victor won't make surprise moves. On Friday's show, watch for Victor to strike an unexpected deal. Does this mean he'll open a door for Audra? Is he going to call off his feud with the Abbotts? Or something else? On Friday's show, watch for Phyllis to push Billy's buttons. The fiery redhead is an expert at knowing a person's vulnerability and utilizing those weaknesses to her advantage. Phyllis knows that Billy is upset that Jill favors Cain over him. All Phyllis has to do is make Billy think Jill is continuing to shower Cain with the love, affection, and loyalty that Billy is convinced that he is being denied. Phyllis and Billy may have found common ground when they were in Nice, but now, all bets are off. Phyllis knows how to look out for herself. If she needs to make Billy feel uncertain about himself so she can be in a better position with Cain, she'll go ahead and do it. On Friday's show, Chelsea is going to have to choose a side. She's worked overtime trying to convince Adam that he shouldn't print negative stories about Billy in Newman media. Otherwise, the Abbott-Newman battle will continue with the next generation. Chelsea doesn't want her son, Connor, getting caught up in family battles. Chelsea loves Adam, but she may have to ally herself with him or walk away if she can't live with any decision Adam might make. Adam has done his best to hold off on doing a hatchet job on Billy in the press. Victor, however, may lay down the law and order Adam to malign Billy. If that happens, Chelsea will have to make a tough decision. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Welcome to the Young and the Restless Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. On the Young and the Restless today, Victor was running scared of Cain Ashby. There's a sentence we never thought we'd say, but when you're led by ego, you make mistakes. And in Victor's case, he's making a whole list of them. While his own wife is asking his mortal enemy, Jack Abbott, to team up with him to take down Cain, Victor is conspiring with Adam for the same cause. Curiously, Victor wants to distract Cain and get him to focus on taking down the Abbotts first. Say what? I'm not sure that's how evil plans work. But in case Victor hasn't noticed, Cain's laser-focused on his goals. The funny thing was that Victor mocked Billy and told him he deserves to die, and is mercilessly rude to Phyllis. He asked Lily to feign a relationship with Cain to find out what his plan is, but if he'd just applied his idea to himself, he wouldn't have to be going around town asking for favors. Not only do Billy and Phyllis know Cain's plan, but Sally and even Audra know it as well. All Victor had to do was lighten up just a little, and he probably could have found out by now that Cain's plan is exactly what he told him it was back in France. He wants Chancellor. Why Victor is acting like it's a mystery is the real head-scratcher. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full YNR recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not, seriously, do not forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is, if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Kyle Abbott may propose marriage to Claire Newman. Will Kyle use that as proof of his devotion after the Audra Charles truth blows up? YNR fans know Kyle chose to withhold some crucial information from Claire about his time in Nice with Audra. Kyle told Claire that nothing happened and assured Claire that he'd never betray her, but that wasn't entirely true. Since Audra and Kyle still did plenty of kissing in her sleeping car, that's something Claire still needs to find out. Of course, Claire also needs to learn Kyle was wearing only a towel at the time, and that he made it to the bed with Audra before pulling back. It was supposedly all part of Kyle's plan to expose Audra's seduction scheme with Victor, but did he really have to take things that far? That's probably what Claire's going to ask when the real story inevitably unravels. The fact that Kyle didn't fully come clean will send up some red flags and make Claire question his loyalty even more. Claire will no doubt start to wonder if Audra is right about Kyle actually wanting her instead. Kyle may find himself in panic mode as he faces the possibility of losing Claire. What will Kyle do once he's desperate to prove Claire is the only woman for him? Kyle just might put a ring on it. Perhaps Kyle will get down on one knee and promise Claire that she's his forever person. Kyle might push for an engagement and try to show Claire that Audra means nothing to him at all. There's no guarantee Claire will get on board with any wedding plans, but Kyle could at least try to prove he's devoted to her alone with a marriage offer. No matter how it all plays out, the Young and the Restless spoilers say Kyle will have to make some strategy updates once Claire gets more news on what went down in France. Kyle has managed to dig quite a hole for himself, but could an engagement ring help dig him out of it? The Young and the Restless recap for Thursday, August 7th reveals that Lily Winters will consider a fake love and Cain Ashby spy plot. Sally Spectra will also have a job offer for Audra Charles. So here's what viewers can expect. At Crimson Lights, Lily will insist she sees Cain as a monster now, so she'll make it clear to Devin Winters that things are over with her ex for good. Even so, Devin will acknowledge that Cain's lingering love for Lily seems legit, especially after the way he was ready to sacrifice himself for her in Nice. When Victor Newman arrives, he'll point out that Lily might be the only person Cain would confide in. Since they all want Cain out of town, Victor will suggest Lily should make him think they have a future and get him to open up about his plans. Lily will balk at the idea, but Victor will push her to give it some thought. After Victor leaves, Lily will talk to Devin about her first instinct being to reject Victor's scheme, but she'll eventually start to wonder if maybe she should do it. Devin will worry Cain might see through Lily's strategy and won't think double-crossing him is safe. Nevertheless, Lily will think the risk might be worth it. At Newman Media, Claire Newman will join Kyle Abbott as they seek a deal for Adam Newman's old apartment. Kyle will even hint about Jabot buying ad space as they try to get Adam on board. However, Adam will point out that he's in a good place with Victor, so he'll reject the apartment proposal to avoid rocking the boat. Victor will come along and realize what's going on, so he'll stand his ground on the apartment deal not happening. Although Victor will want to speak with Claire alone, she won't think they have anything left to talk about and will stomp off with Kyle. At Society, Audra will order a gin and tonic before giving Sally updates on Victor's latest move. Victor pulled the plug on Vibrante and expects Audra to pay back the money he invested into it, so she'll vent to Sally on Thursday's Y&R episode. Sally will point out that Audra knew she was playing a dangerous game when she got into all this. Although Sally will worry about Audra's relationship with Nate Hastings blowing up, Audra will think she's in the clear since Kyle and Victor haven't said anything to him about the seduction scheme. There'll also be some talk about Audra and Kyle kissing in Nice, but she'll remain convinced that her romance with Nate is secure. Audra will be more worried about how she's going to explain losing Vibrante, so Sally will suggest making it seem like she got fed up and walked away. Sally will also offer Audra a job at Abbott Communications, since she might end up running it if Billy Abbott goes back to Chancellor. Even if Sally stays COO, she'll feel certain Billy would get on board with finding a place for Audra. Although Audra will appreciate the offer, she'll want to figure out her next move on her own. Sally will also try to steer Audra away from any vengeful Kyle moves, but Audra won't seem willing to listen. When Claire and Kyle walk in, he'll try to convince her that they should just go somewhere else. Claire will insist on confronting Audra instead, so she'll march over and admit she knows about Victor hiring Audra for the breakup plot. After Claire pushes Audra to admit she lied about Kyle leaving his phone charger in her sleeping car, Audra will confess it wasn't true. That said, Audra will point out that Kyle was indeed in her room and will ultimately accuse him of coming onto her. Kyle will insist that's bull and will act like Audra doesn't know when to accept defeat. Audra will play up her history with Kyle and try to plant some doubts for Claire, so she'll imply that she's the woman he really wants before sauntering off. Once Kyle's alone with Claire, he'll beg her to tell him that she didn't believe any of that. Claire will turn toward Kyle and stare at him like she's contemplating what to make of Audra's words. Back with Adam, he'll wonder why Victor is distracting himself with the Abbotts when Cain is the bigger threat. Victor will admit he's pitting Cain and the Abbotts against each other, so he'll hope to use Cain for Abbott destruction. Although Adam won't like the idea of Jack Abbott's downfall, he'll support that plan and choose to put his own family first. Adam will point out that all this could push Claire even further away, but Victor will know what he's doing and will call Cain to set up a meeting. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Victor will continue to move all the chess pieces, so stay tuned for more news on his latest strategy. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Friday, August 8th, reveal that Victor Newman will lock in a surprise deal while Billy Abbott has a tense encounter. There'll be some escalating drama on Friday's Y&R episode, so let's talk about what's in store. At Society, Billy may just want to have a drink in peace, but he'll get riled up instead. There'll be two reasons why, since Phyllis Summers will pop up to get under Billy's skin before Jack Abbott has a run-in with his brother. There'll be plenty of tension between Jack and Billy, so Phyllis may stir the pot even more since she'll be on hand to witness it. As for Chelsea Lawson, she'll have to make a choice about which side she's on. Adam Newman is still trying to delay the hit pieces on Billy, but how much longer will Victor really let him get away with it? Victor already complained about Adam dragging his feet and may apply even more pressure soon. If Adam is forced to publish this media smear campaign against Billy, Chesley may have to decide whether she can live with that. Even if Adam can avoid striking this particular blow against Billy, there's a far bigger one coming, at least if Victor's plan works. Victor wants to use Cain Ashby to crush the Abbotts by pitting them against each other. Adam may admit to Chelsea that he's on board with the idea since it'll make the Abbotts a bigger target than the Newmans, at least for now. Chelsea probably won't approve of Adam supporting Victor's dirty tactics, but she may try to understand on some level in the end. As for Victor, he'll lock in a surprising deal in Friday's Y&R episode. After calling Cain and letting him know they need to talk, Victor may be willing to reach some sort of agreement with him. Victor may do his best to steer Cain toward focusing on the Abbotts first and offer something in return. There obviously won't be trust on either side of this business meeting, but Cain and Victor may strike a deal anyway, since Lily Winters may move forward with giving Cain false hope while digging for his agenda. That could tie in with Victor's grand plans. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Cain will need to keep his guard up thanks to all the threats swirling around him. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that 4 major meltdowns may be coming up in Genoa City. These characters seem poised to go off the rails with explosive results, so let's discuss all the drama that's about to erupt. For starters, Cain Ashby's fury may be unleashed after things don't go according to plan. When frustrated Cain trashed his desk back in Nice, that was probably nothing in comparison to what's brewing. Cain could have the meltdown of the century once he fails at building this powerhouse entity he's hoping for. There's no way Cain can realistically scoop up all these companies, and he certainly can't defeat the great Victor Newman. Lily Winters' deception might end in disaster too when it comes to dangling a fake romantic restart in front of Cain. All this could push Cain over the edge and lead to a vengeful temper tantrum when everything goes wrong. Claire Newman has already been lashing out and delivering some stern lectures, but she no doubt has a far worse meltdown ahead of her. Once the full story about what played out in France is revealed, Claire's anger will reach an all-time high. Audra Charles is already on Claire's bad side, but she may get the slap of the century sooner or later. Claire seems poised to unleash her fury like never before, and perhaps let her sinister side come out a bit when it's time for revenge. Kyle Abbott will have to pay the price as well, so stay tuned for updates on Claire's reaction once the extent of his makeout trap comes to light. Of course, Kyle himself may have quite the meltdown looming, especially if Audra puts his future with Claire in jeopardy. Audra would still like to break up Claire and Kyle, but he'll surely get vengeance if she accomplishes that or comes dangerously close. Kyle may target both Audra and Victor Newman if that happens, so Diane Jenkins Abbott and Jack Abbott may end up concerned over him spiraling out of control. Nate Hastings has been through a lot thanks to Damian Cain's demise, especially since he had to break the devastating news to Amy Lewis in the aftermath. The last thing Nate needs in his life is more drama, but that's exactly what's in store on Y&R. Between Audra's deception regarding her breakup plot for Victor and her kissing betrayal with Kyle and Nice, Nate will have more than one reason to blow his top. The Young and the Restless spoilers say these 4 major meltdowns seem inevitable, so don't miss all the rage that'll be released. The Young and the Restless scoop for Thursday, August 7th reveals Audra Charles will put doubt in Claire Newman's mind about Kyle Abbott. Also coming up, Victor Newman will make an intriguing suggestion to Lily Winters. Plus, Sally Spectra will offer Audra a job, and Adam Newman will turn down a request. Y&R spoilers tease Devin Winters, and Lily will discuss Cain Ashby. Devin will remind her how in love the two of them were. His love for you is genuine, he'll add. I don't think Cain is going to let go of you very easily. Then Victor will show up, and he'll ask Lily if she's aware Cain's in town. I plan to avoid him at all costs, she'll reply. But Victor will say it might be a good idea to find out about his plans. He'll suggest Lily should make Cain think he has a future with her. Victor will leave, and Lily will tell Devin she's not sure if she has it in her. But what if Victor has a point? Do you think Cain is a threat to Winters? She'll ask Devin. Victor's right. I'm the only one who has an in. At Newman Media, Claire and Kyle will ask Adam to make a deal. We want to buy your apartment like we originally planned. But Adam will say it would be problematic. I'm walking a fine line with Victor. He'll say he's sorry how Victor's treated them both, but the apartment's off the market. Adam will add he also knows Claire wants to tick off Victor. Speaking of the devil, Victor will show up and assume they want to buy Adam's apartment. Kyle will say he can't control every house and apartment in Genoa City. What makes you think I can't? He'll reply. Claire and Kyle will leave, and Victor will tell Adam his new plan is to pit the Abbotts and Cain against each other. Adam will say he likes the idea. So, Victor will make a call to Cain and suggest they meet up. Meanwhile, Audra will meet Sally Spectra at Society. She'll tell her Victor not only pulled his funding for Vibrante, but he wants her to pay back everything he'd already invested. I don't mean to pile on, but let's be real, Sally will reply. What did you think was going to happen? Audra will explain that what Victor wants is complicated. It's a long game. I think Kyle must just really be in love with Claire, Sally will say. But Audra will tell her she's going to make sure Claire sees the truth. I'm worried about you. I'm talking about Nate, Sally will say. If Kyle or Victor tells Nate Hastings what she was up to, she'll be the one who loses her relationship. Nate will never find out what happened in Nice, Audra will reply, but she'll have to tell him her company is gone. Why don't you tell him you realized Victor can't be trusted and you ended the partnership? Sally will suggest. Say a better opportunity came along. Then she'll tell Audra Billy Abbott signed Abbott Communications over to her if he wins back Chancellor. Assuming I'm going to be CEO, why don't you come work with me? Audra will say the offer means a lot, but she needs to figure out her next move on her own. Then Kyle and Claire will arrive, and they'll spot Audra and Sally. Kyle will say maybe they should go somewhere else. I want to have a word with Audra, Claire will reply, and march over to the bar. I know what you tried to do, she'll say to Audra. Claire will add she's pathetic, making up that story about Kyle leaving his phone charger in her sleeping car. Did he tell you that nothing happened? Audra will ask. He's lying to you. So, Claire will ask Audra why she's doing this. Audra will say she's trying to help her. Somewhere in all that puppy love lust, there must be a little flicker of doubt. Audra will add she and Kyle were halfway around the world, and the next thing she knew, he was coming on to her. That's bull, Kyle will reply. Is it? Because you seem to enjoy it? She'll reply. It was just like old times. Kyle will tell Audra it's over. She just can't accept defeat. And you can't accept which woman you really want, Audra will say, getting in their faces. Finally, Sally will drag Audra out of Society, and Claire will steady herself against the bar. Please tell me you didn't believe any of that, Kyle will say to Claire. But she'll turn around and glare at him. Keep reading the Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news, and make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. Y&R fans, get ready. The winds of change are sweeping through Genoa City, and they carry the weight of decades-old secrets, hidden pain, and a mother's undying hope. After spending far too long on the sidelines, Tracy Abbott is finally stepping into the spotlight. But this return isn't about nostalgia, it's about unfinished business. According to brand new spoilers, Tracy is headed to Nice, France. But she's not going alone. Jill Abbott, a powerhouse in the boardroom and a fortress of strength in her personal life, will be by her side. But make no mistake, this trip is no vacation. Jill's past is calling, and Tracy may be the one holding the answers she's been too afraid to ask. Behind Jill's signature confidence lies a heartbreak she's kept buried for years. A daughter she lost long ago. A part of herself she never stopped searching for, even when she refused to admit it. Her success in business has masked a personal wound that never truly healed. But now, a detective has unearthed a shocking lead. One that could finally give Jill what she's longed for: closure and reunion. She wastes no time boarding a flight to Nice, her heart racing with anticipation, fear, and hope. While Jill prepares for a long-awaited reunion, Tracy's purpose in Nice remains quietly concealed. She's not just there for moral support, she's on a mission of her own, a mission to unearth the truth and expose secrets that could change lives forever. Working in silence, Tracy acquires a DNA sample from Audra Charles, a woman who's been weaving herself into the fabric of Genoa City, unaware of the lineage she may carry. With careful discretion, Tracy sends the sample off for testing, desperate for answers, but terrified of what the results might reveal. When the truth comes back, it hits Tracy like a tidal wave. Audra is her daughter. Years of mystery, pain, and longing come to a head in one life-altering moment. Tracy, who believed her chance at motherhood had been lost to time and fate, now stands on the brink of something unimaginable. But the joy is bittersweet, because Audra doesn't know. She's spent her life searching for a sense of belonging, haunted by unanswered questions, never realizing that the woman she's been yearning for was just beyond reach. And now, with the truth in hand, Tracy faces an impossible decision: tell Audra everything, or protect her from a past steeped in secrecy. But Tracy and Jill aren't the only ones with buried truths. As this revelation begins to ripple across their world, the fallout promises to be seismic. Loyalties will be tested, relationships redefined, and the future of more than one legacy will hang in the balance. Audra's journey is about to collide with a destiny she never imagined. And for Tracy and Jill, the past they've both tried to move beyond is about to become impossible to ignore. As long-buried secrets surface, one question remains. In Genoa City, secrets are currency and history is a weapon. For weeks, an unspoken truth has hung between Nick Newman and Sharon Rosales, a silent ghost born from a desperate, passionate kiss in Nice. While Nick tried to bury the memory under layers of guilt and routine, Sharon found herself haunted by what it represented: a love that simply refuses to die. That simmering tension finally boiled over, and the fallout threatens to burn them all. The inevitable confrontation wasn't a product of seduction, but of quiet desperation. After months of turmoil, including the attack and his house arrest, Nick sought refuge where he always has, with Sharon. A late-night conversation bled into shared vulnerability, and the years of pain, betrayal, and loss melted away. What remained were two souls irrevocably drawn to one another. Their kiss this time wasn't stolen. It was a confession. What followed was not an impulsive mistake, but a homecoming. But peace is a fleeting commodity in this town. Tipped off by a cryptically concerned message from Summer, Phyllis Summers arrived at the GCAC, guided by a terrible intuition. She found the hotel room door unlocked, a careless oversight in a haze of intimacy. Stepping inside, her worst fears were confirmed. She saw them tangled in the sheets, Nick's face peaceful in a way she hadn't seen in years, and Sharon nestled against him. Time froze. As Nick's eyes shot open in panic, the serenity shattered. Phyllis didn't scream or rage. Her reaction was far more chilling. A single, cold, joyless laugh cut through the silence. "Well," she whispered, her eyes burning with a brittle devastation. "I guess I finally got my answer." Before Nick or Sharon could utter a word, she was gone, slamming the door on their stolen moment and officially declaring war. The emotional shrapnel hit instantly. What was meant to be a moment of healing was now tainted by discovery. By morning, the news had begun its toxic spread. Victor Newman raised a knowing eyebrow, muttering about history repeating itself. Their children reacted with a mixture of shock, disappointment, and judgment. The battle lines are now drawn. This is no longer about a secret kiss, but a public war. A wounded and furious Phyllis is a master of chaos, capable of destroying reputations with a single whisper. Yet, for the first time in a long time, Sharon appears ready for the fight. She has chosen Nick, not in secret, but with a resolve to face the consequences. The ultimate question remains: will Nick choose her back? Will he stand with her in the light of day as Phyllis unleashes her fury? Or will he retreat, allowing the collateral damage to once again tear them apart? Survival is no longer about hiding from the fire. It's about walking through it hand in hand. The next move will determine if this love story can finally find its ending, or if it's destined to burn down in the flames of the past. There's no word on whether Abby and Devon will expand their family on the young and the restless. The couple has enjoyed the little family they started. Meanwhile, Melissa Ordway has full intentions of adding to her family. She shared a special announcement on Instagram. On Instagram, Ordway announced the arrival of a new baby. A fur baby, that is. The proud dog mom had plenty of photos to share from their latest trip to Nashville. She started out the post with a shot of her snuggling her new puppy, Levi. The rest of the photos showed him fitting in well with the family. Even her husband, Justin Gaston, enjoyed toting the adorable new puppy around in his tote bag. Their kids approved too. They've snuggled him during their long car rides. Ordway couldn't resist either. She's seen holding him during one drive. The last photo shows an up-close and personal shot of their new fur baby. Ordway wrote, "Levi update. He's very cute, incredibly sweet, and super cuddly." Ordway previously introduced fans to Levi. In an Instagram reel, she shared this important puppy update. In her caption, Ordway wrote, "Meet our new family member, Levi Gaston. I'm proud to report he was perfect on our drive home to Nashville, and he already fits right in. We are completely in love." Ordway has been enjoying mom life this summer, especially since she's been reduced to a recurring role on Y&R. In between filming and auditioning for new roles, she's made time for road trips with her family. In her video, Ordway explained that she was dressed like an Amish person going to get a dog, which sounds like the premise for a feel-good movie we would watch, but she wasn't sure if Levi was going to join them. Surely, he warmed up to them quickly. In her video, Ordway revealed they were heading back to Nashville with a new puppy. They also made plenty of friends. Taylor Swift's Invisible Stringle played in the background, which somehow complemented this loving and sweet video. Port Charles has seen its share of fractured families, but the latest turmoil inside the Ashford-Robinson clan is setting a new standard for emotional upheaval. At the center of the storm stands Jada Robinson, Trina's cousin, whose quiet loyalty and patience have finally crumbled under the weight of betrayal and generational pain. Jada, long seen as the dutiful granddaughter of Stella Henry, has grown tired of being a background figure while decisions that shape her life are made by others. The breaking point comes during a memorial for her estranged father, a moment meant to bring healing, but instead tainted by Curtis Ashford's cold indifference. His refusal to acknowledge the emotional cost of years of silence and secrecy shatters what little faith Jada had left in her family's integrity. Fueled by grief and fury, Jada storms into the Ashford estate, determined to confront Curtis. But instead of reconciliation, she's met with the same detached calculation that has defined his role in the family, one that prioritizes control over connection. Curtis brushes off her concerns with chilling ease, dismissing her like a nuisance rather than the daughter of his late brother. That final rejection ignites something in Jada. She walks away from the Ashford household, not just in body, but in spirit. She's done with the expectations, the secrets, the manipulation. As she slams the door behind her, she steps into the arms of someone who, despite his own complex history, has always seen her for who she is, Dex Heller. Once dismissed as little more than Sonny Corinthos' former enforcer, Dex and Jada share a surprising connection rooted in survival and raw honesty. As Jada begins to confront the dark truths buried within the Ashford legacy, Dex becomes both confidant and protector. Their bond deepens as they face the explosive fallout of secrets that could rewrite the Ashford family's entire narrative. Behind the scenes, General Hospital fans are buzzing over the return of Haley Poulos in the recast role of Jada Robinson. Known for her portrayal of Molly Lansing Davis, Poulos brings a new maturity and edge to Jada, making her transformation from passive participant to powerful protagonist utterly compelling. Her return to GH in late 2024 comes at a time when the canvas is shifting, and longtime viewers are hungry for bold character arcs. But Jada's story is just beginning. As she digs deeper, she stumbles upon a long-buried truth about her birth, one that challenges everything she thought she knew. Evidence emerges suggesting that her mother, believed to have died in childbirth, may have been the victim of a cover-up orchestrated by someone with close ties to the Ashfords. The web of deception stretches back decades, implicating not just Curtis, but Portia Robinson and even Marcus Taggart. As the pieces come together, Jada realizes she's not just fighting for truth, she's fighting for her identity. With Dex by her side and her faith in the Ashford name crumbling, she prepares to expose the lies that have kept her family chained to the past. Her journey is one of redemption, vengeance, and, perhaps, freedom. Haley Poulos' portrayal adds emotional depth to every scene, showing Jada as both wounded and warrior. And as her story continues to unfold, it's clear she's becoming a central force in General Hospital's ever-expanding universe of secrets, betrayals, and long-overdue reckonings. The Young and the Restless scoop for Tuesday, August 5th, reveals Billy Abbott will learn Jill Abbott was aware of Cain Ashby's secret identity. Also coming up, Audra Charles will get a rude awakening from Victor Newman. Plus, Nikki Newman will be exasperated, and Kyle Abbott will try to calm down a furious Claire Newman. Y&R spoilers tease. Nikki will tell Victor they should have been honoring Cole Howard. Instead, he made it about his hatred of the Abbotts. "Sweetheart, I simply did what I thought was necessary," he'll reply. Kyle had no right to be here. But Nikki will say the fact is Claire's a Newman, and she loves Kyle. Victor will tell her he wanted Cole's memorial to be a private event. "Do you even listen to yourself?" Nikki will reply. "You block out everything you don't want to hear. Why pick a fight with Kyle today of all days?" She'll add losing two good men like Chance Chancellor, and Cole should be a reminder of how short life is. "I'm begging you to please let go of your hatred for the Abbotts." But is Victor even capable of that? Meanwhile, Kyle will follow Claire to the lookout. "All I'm feeling is angry," she'll tell her boyfriend. She'll say she thinks her father would have been proud of her for standing up to Victor. "You're not going to be mad at him forever," Kyle will say. But Claire will tell him she's done with walking around on eggshells. "Victor broke something today, and I'm not sure if it can ever be fixed." Kyle will tell her not to make any decisions she'll regret later. "You know who he reminded me of today? Jordan," she'll reply. "I'm not going to live like that anymore." Then Audra will come along, and Claire will tell Kyle they should get going. Audra will inform Kyle she has his phone charger. "You must have left it in my sleeping car when we were planning our pitch to Cain, don't you remember?" Kyle will say no, and Audra will tell him it must have been after one of the multi-cocktails evenings they spent together. She'll add the phone charger isn't hers. "And nobody else spent any time in my room, so it has to be yours." Kyle will tell her to keep it, and they'll leave. Then Audra will get a text from Victor, summoning her to the ranch. When she arrives, she'll say she planted a seed of doubt about Kyle with Claire just now. "We're looking at a time bomb, waiting to explode." But Victor will say they had a deal, she didn't come through, so he's pulling support for her company. "I'm shutting it down now." As for Claire and Kyle, they'll head to the tack house. Claire will tell her mom she wants to move on with her life, and she wants to move in with Kyle as soon as possible. Victoria Newman will tell her she's all for it. In Cain's suite, Billy will ask if he's planning to take over Abbott Communications too. "What happens to Sally?" he'll add. What happens to the people in your little scheme? Cain will say potentially they can keep their positions, but they'd have to answer to him. Billy will tell him all he wants is chancellor, but if Nikki continues running it, then he's out. Will you just think bigger? Cain will reply. What I am planning is going to dwarf chancellor. But Billy will say he doesn't need it. Phyllis Summers will tell Cain the only reason Billy wants chancellor back is to stick it to Jill. Then she'll get a phone call from her daughter and leave the room. Cain will admit he and Jill reconnected when Colin Atkinson got sick and she was at his chateau in France. Well, that's perfect. The pretend prodigal son comes back to take my place, Billy will say. Cain will say he's not, but Jill is upset about everything that happened. Billy will ask if Jill knew she was Aristotle Dumas, just as Phyllis returns. What difference does it make, one way or the other? He'll reply. You're getting worked up over nothing. Finally, Billy will call Jill. She'll say she was beginning to wonder if he was ever going to call her. Well, depending on what you tell me, that could be the last time that happens, he'll reply. Jill will say his hostility is breaking her heart. Billy will turn the phone around to show her who's there. Cain will smile brightly and say hello. Then Billy will accuse his mother of knowing Cain was Aristotle Dumas. You knew he was keeping a secret from everybody, including your son, he'll say. You're gonna deny it, Mom? Come on, Jill, let's hear it. And she won't say a word. Keep reading The Soap Scoop for Young and The Restless Spoilers and News. And make sure to also join our Why in Our Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. The changing atmosphere sees shifting loyalties on the young and the restless as the billionaire blast from the past chooses to settle down in town. With Cain Ashby's return, the power dynamics are slated to change in Genoa City. Victor will need to reaffirm his strength, while Lily will face dilemma in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, Audra will likely see the darker side of Claire. The previous episodes of The Young and the Restless built up to the current disorder in town. After the disasters in Nice, the residents returned to hometown to start planning their battles. Phyllis and Billy were seen negotiating their plans with Cain. Billy also got Jill on a video call to confirm his doubts before vowing to think Cain's offer through. While Phyllis was excited to get on board with Cain's plans, Daniel found his mother's enthusiasm worrisome. On the other hand, Daniel lent a hand to Tessa in caring for Arya, displaying his newfound inclination. Elsewhere, Cole was given a loving memorial service. However, Victor's jibes at Kyle during the ceremony infuriated Claire, who decided to defy her grandfather's rigid stance. In return, Kyle informed her about Audra's deal with Victor, and that he stayed loyal to Claire. The long-running CBS soap also saw Diane, Jack, Nikki, and Lily worried about what Cain might bring to the town. Victor Newman was part of the sham invitation to Nice. While he claimed to have been a step ahead of Dumas turned Cain Ashby, he was put through a bad time only to be offered a business deal. As expected, Victor turned down Cain's propositions. Back home, Victor is busy planning moves against Cain now that the latter has left an open challenge for all the Genoa City residents. Besides his family, he will need more allies on his side. He may predict Lily harboring grudge for Damien's death and may offer to take her on board to attack Cain. Whether Lily collaborates with the Newman patriarch or has residual feelings for Cain to stop her in her tracks remains to be seen. Meanwhile, on The Young and the Restless, Cain will reach out to her to apologize and get on her good books. Her refusal will leave him sad. Audra's plan with Victor has derailed. She is left with no fund or a business future. Victor will soon be drawing his funds from Vibrante back. Both Audra and Kyle are slated to face flack from their respective relationships soon. On one hand, Nate may come to know about Audra's moves on Kyle. After he learns about her loss of the Vibrante deal, the Young and the Restless fans may find their relationship destroyed. On the other hand, Kyle has not been completely truthful to Claire. He kept his toweled action in Nice hidden from his girlfriend. He may yet see the other side of Claire when she learns the truth. Cain may look for a permanent place to reside in Genoa City. As he does, Phyllis will be eager to help him settle and get on with his financial plans. On the other hand, Billy will buy some time, but will eventually fall in with Cain's offer. This may create more friction in Cain's team. Since Billy is interested in getting his hands on Chancellor, he will leave Abbott Communications to his girlfriend. Sally will get completely absorbed in running the company, leaving no time for a personal life. This may affect Sally and Billy's romance. Cain will look for more disgruntled people to join his force. After Audra is left without a job in a company, the billionaire may offer her a job with him. Furious at Victor, she may side with the new entrant in the town,